you guys. Aaron Feely going to throw. That pass is batted up into the air. It's picked off. That'll be fielded at the 14. Returned out past the 25. He's going to get out past the 30, past the 40. Knocked out of bounds at about midfield. He's rolling to his right. He's going to throw it. He will, and it's caught inside the 5, down toward the goal line, and in for the touchdown. News not over from last night in the NFL. Stefon Diggs, after meeting with the Patriots last week, will sign with the New England Patriots on a 3-year, $69 million contract. Big-time spending continues for New England, who have continued to put together a nice offseason in what was considered a weak free agency class by many experts. New England, there were some jokes about, the worst year ever to have the most cap space in the league, but honestly, not a bad haul in return by New England. Some smart spending, definitely trying to maximize their window now with Drake May at quarterback. They go out and they get Milton Williams, who's kind of the big signing early on in free agency for them. And now obviously adding Stefon Diggs to go with Mac Hollins, who they also signed. At first, you were probably, you're looking at New England, you're thinking, you know what, Mac Hollins, that's their big offensive addition. Going to be their wide receiver 1 unless they draft one. Probably still not the best scenario for Drake May. So I kind of like bringing in a veteran like Stefon Diggs, who I know it felt like he kind of had a lost season last year. He only played in 8 games before his season was ended prematurely due to injury, but he was on pace for another 1,000-yard season, going on 100 receptions if he had kept up at the pace he was on, and about 8 touchdowns. It was 8.5 was the exact mark he was on pace for. So, it was still going to be a pretty decent year there for Diggs, and that was with sharing targets with Tank Dell and Nico Collins in that offense. In New England, he can go back to what he was in Minnesota and in Buffalo, being that number 1 guy. I would even say there's probably going to be some big-time fantasy relevance to Stefon Diggs once again with Drake May. Having that guy to really rely on, especially on some key third downs throughout the season. Milton Williams as well, big signing for them to help their defense. Kind of a big-time swing, only had 7 starts last year for Philadelphia, but did have 5 sacks in those games. So you're betting on a young player really coming into his prime and ascending for your defense. Like we mentioned, they went out and they got Mac Hollins. That was big time for him. New England's putting together some decent additions here, and with Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels being brought back into the coaching ranks, New England might be a sneaky wild card team to look out for this year, even with Drake May being just a second-year quarterback. Obviously, a lot of holes still left to fill. They need some tackles. They need probably more receiving help. They could use a lot, but man, they've got some fun names going in that room right now, and I don't wonder if this doesn't almost make them an ideal landing spot for like a Travis Hunter in the draft this coming April. If the top 3 kind of plays out the way a lot of people are mocking it with, Cam Ward 1, Abdul Carter 2, Shedeur Sanders to New York, although they just got Russell Wilson, so we'll see how that affects that. But yeah, if it plays out like that and Hunter's there at 4, New England's going to have a decision to make. You could take Mason Graham, but they don't really need a defensive tackle. He's probably the best player left at that point. But yeah, defensive tackle, not really a strong need for them. There's not really a defensive end that's worth taking at 4. There's not really any tackle. Will Campbell was a phenomenal tackle for LSU last year, but obviously there's some concerns now with the arm length. Is he going to kick into guard? I don't know how I feel about that. I honestly think he'll probably be fine as an NFL tackle. I think his tape speaks for itself. I think they're overblowing the arm length thing just a bit, but it is what it is to these NFL teams. So I don't know if that means you're going to take a guy that you think might have arms that are too short to play left tackle in the NFL and you're going to take him at 4. I would see New England maybe being a trade down candidate, but if they stay there at 4, you want to talk about a coach who has the resume, like Sean Payton did when he started his Taysom Hill project, to lock in and really say, you know what, I don't care what other people are going to think about it. I'm going to try this. That would be a perfect landing spot for Travis Hunter to not have to make his choice. Are you going to be a DB? Are you going to be a receiver? I think if he ends up in New England, they might actually legitimately be able to really utilize him in that Josh McDaniels offense. I probably like an 80% snap count on offense. I mean, really be a consistent part of the offensive game plan while starting every down at corner for him. I really think New England might be the landing spot that would be almost perfect for Travis Hunter, which would be kind of funny if the Colorado boys end up going to the Giants and the Patriots, and the kind of out-of-conference rival that a couple of Super Bowls created, and obviously, New York, Boston, that whole thing, even though the Patriots don't play in the actual city of Boston. I don't know. I thought it would be kind of fun. But yes, Stefon Diggs brings, his veteran leadership to that New England receiving room, gives Drake May a reliable target to really be the guy that he'll probably go to in key scenarios this coming season. I think this definitely will help out Drake May's development, if nothing else, which is first and foremost for New England this year. Obviously, winning some games would be fun. It would be nice. You make a wild card. I think you'd pat yourself on the back. You say, woohoo, successful season. But I think the primary indicator of whether or not New England has a successful season in 2025 is, did Drake May take a step forward? Do you have a fledgling superstar on your hands at quarterback so you can stop worrying about this? Ever since really Tom Brady left. I know Mac Jones had the Pro Bowl year as a rookie, but that felt kind of like a sham. Drake May, probably the best talent they've gotten into that locker room since Brady left them for Tampa Bay several years back. And Stefon Diggs should absolutely help in trying to get him to turn that corner in year 2. What do you guys think about the Stefon Diggs to New England signing? Let me know in the comments below. Mock draft coming later on this week, so stay tuned for that. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.